You turn off the lights, pull the blanket up to your chin, and close your eyes. It's quiet. The room is dark. And yet, your mind refuses to stop. It replays old conversations, loops tomorrow's grocery list, wonders if you remembered to lock the back door. You shift. You sigh. Minutes pass. Then hours. And once again, you've lost another night to that invisible thief called sleeplessness. Here's something you may not know. Insomnia isn't always about your mattress, your age, or even your hormones. Sometimes, it's about the missing ritual. You probably have rituals for a lot of things. Morning coffee, brushing your teeth, watering your garden. But when it comes to sleep, most people over 60 treat it like flipping a switch. You expect your body to go from fully alert to deeply asleep in minutes. No transition, no preparation. That's not how the human nervous system works. And this matters. Because poor sleep doesn't just make you groggy the next day. It slowly wears down your memory. It erodes your mood. It makes your body more prone to weight gain, blood pressure spikes, even immune issues. According to research from Stanford, chronic sleep loss increases inflammation markers that accelerate aging in the brain. This is not just about being tired. This is about protecting your independence. So here's what we are going to do. You're going to build a sleep ritual. Not a routine, not a checklist, but a short, repeatable sequence that tells your brain, it's time to wind down. You'll learn exactly how to design it, why each part matters, and what could be sabotaging your nights without you even realizing it. And you'll hear real examples from people over 60 who turned their sleep around by making just a few simple changes. But before we dive into the first step, I want to hear from you. What does your bedtime currently look like? Do you scroll your phone? Watch TV? Sip herbal tea? Do you fall asleep fast or stay awake staring at the ceiling? Leave me a comment. I read every one, and your story might just help someone else. Now, let's begin. First, you need to understand what's actually happening in your brain before sleep. Imagine your brain like a car engine. When it's running hot all day, solving problems, reading news, worrying about your grandkids, it doesn't just shut off because you want it to. It needs a cool-down period. That's what a ritual does. It tells the engine, we are parking now. It's okay to slow down. One of the most damaging things you can do before bed is expose your eyes to artificial light. You may already know about blue light, but let's go deeper. Your eyes aren't just for seeing, they're timekeepers. Inside your retina are special cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. Don't worry, you don't have to remember the name. Just know this. They send signals directly to your brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, telling it whether it's day or night. If you look at a bright screen at 10 p.m., those cells whisper to your brain, sun's still up. Stay alert. And your brain listens. So the first piece of your ritual is this. At least 30 minutes before bed, shut off all screens. Not just phones. Not just TVs. Even bright ceiling lights. You're creating darkness, like a gentle nudge to your brain that nighttime has begun. One woman I work with, 67 years old, told me she used to watch crime dramas before bed. One episode would turn into two, and she'd fall asleep anxious and alert. We switched her screen time to the early evening and replaced that last hour with something else. We'll get to what that something else is in a minute. But the result? She fell asleep 40 minutes faster. And stayed asleep longer. Now I can hear you thinking, but what if I like my TV shows at night? I'm not asking you to quit watching them. I'm asking you to shift when you watch. Give your brain a buffer. Think of it like this. If you eat a big meal, you don't jump into a swimming pool. You give your body time to adjust. Sleep is the same. It needs space. Once the lights are dim and the screens are off, the second part of your ritual kicks in, calming your nervous system. Your body has two main gears, the sympathetic, which is fight or flight, and the parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. Most older adults live in the first gear all day, especially if you're caring for a spouse, worrying about bills, or watching too much news. That sympathetic gear stays stuck in on. And when it's on, your body literally resists sleep. This is where something like deep breathing comes in. Not just any breathing, slow, measured, belly breathing. Try this with me now. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4, exhale through your mouth for 6, wait for 2, and repeat. You do this for 5 minutes and something remarkable happens. Your vagus nerve, the main highway of your parasympathetic system, sends signals to your heart to slow down. Your blood pressure drops. Your stress hormones lower. And your brain starts to shift from beta waves, which are alert, to alpha and eventually theta, which are pre-sleep. A man named Raymond, 72, told me he used to take 2 melatonin gummies every night. He didn't like the fogginess in the morning, but felt stuck. We added this breathing to his ritual, just 5 minutes, same time each night. 2 weeks later, he cut the gummies in half. A month later, he didn't need them. The breath, not the pill, was the real sedative. Now, some people prefer something more tactile, a signal to the body that sleep is coming. That's where journaling, or what I call brain dumping, comes in. This isn't about writing poetry or keeping a diary. It's just a blank notebook where you jot down whatever's in your head. Worries, to-dos, half-thoughts. You're clearing the desk in your mind. And this is backed by research from the University of Texas, which found that writing down unfinished tasks actually helps people fall asleep faster. Not because the tasks go away, but because the brain no longer feels responsible for holding them all night. If writing isn't your thing, try something else symbolic. It could be making a cup of chamomile tea, rubbing lavender lotion into your hands, reading a physical book, not a screen, under soft light. The point isn't what you do. The point is that you do it. Consistently. In the same order. At the same time. That repetition is what turns a habit into a cue. Your brain starts to recognize the pattern. Tea, then lotion, then book, it must be sleep time. Over time, you don't have to force sleep. It arrives, like a guest who knows the door is always open at 9:30. Now let's talk about the spiritual side, because for many older adults, especially those raised with faith, bedtime is when the soul stirs most. If you find peace in prayer, reflection, or simply whispering thanks for the day, that too can be a powerful part of your ritual. Not because it does anything measurable, but because it connects you to calm, to meaning, to surrender. And nothing invites sleep faster than the sense that you've done your part, and can now let go. So by now, your ritual might look something like this. 9 p.m., lights dim, no more screens. 9:05, breathing or journaling. 9:15, tea or lotion or prayer. 9:30, into bed, book in hand, body relaxed. You've gone from a chaotic wind down to a predictable rhythm. And that rhythm is what your nervous system craves. But there's still one more piece, something almost everyone overlooks. And without this, even the best ritual can fail. That's what we are going to talk about next. There's still one more piece, something almost everyone overlooks. And without this, even the best ritual can fail. It's the timing. See, your body isn't just following a schedule because of habit. It's following a chemical cycle that's been running since the day you were born. Every organ in your body, your heart, your liver, even your skin, runs on a 24-hour clock called the circadian rhythm. And guess what sets that clock? Not your alarm. Not your bedtime. But the light around you and the consistency of your daily patterns. That means if you're doing your sleep ritual at 8:30 one night, then 11 o'clock the next, and 9:15 the night after that, your brain can't anchor to a rhythm. It's like trying to train a dog with different commands every day. It gets confused. And confusion creates stress. And stress kills sleep. The best rituals work because they are predictable. You do them at the same time, in the same order, in the same space. That predictability becomes your signal. Your brain begins to associate those actions with safety. And safety is what sleep needs more than anything. There was a man I work with, 69, who said, "I do everything right. Tea, music, journaling. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't." When we looked closer, we saw the problem. His ritual timing moved depending on whether he was watching sports, on a phone call, or felt sleepy early. It was like trying to aim at a moving target. So we locked his wind-down ritual to a specific window, 9 p.m. every night, no matter what. Within 2 weeks, he said, "My body starts yawning right on schedule now. It's weird. But good." So if you've built a beautiful ritual, but you're inconsistent with when you do it, that could be the missing key. Make the time sacred. Treat it like a flight departure. You don't casually show up at the airport whenever you feel like it. You show up on time, because that's when the plane leaves. Sleep is no different. Now let's address a common trap, especially for those over 60. It's easy to assume that just because you're not working anymore, Your sleep doesn't need a structure. You tell yourself, I can nap if I need to, or I'll stay up if I'm not tired. But this freedom can backfire. Without structure, your circadian rhythm drifts. You start waking up later, falling asleep later, feeling less tired at bedtime, but more tired during the day. You're not more. You're less active. And soon you're caught in a loop where night and day blur together. That's why your sleep ritual doesn't just start at night. It actually starts in the morning. Here's what I mean. The strongest thing you can do to anchor your circadian rhythm is get bright light exposure early in the day. Within an hour of waking, get outside, even if it's cloudy, and spend at least 10 to 15 minutes in natural light. That tells your brain, the day has begun, and it sets a countdown clock to your sleep hormones later that night. This is supported by studies from the University of Colorado and Harvard Medical School, both showing that morning light not only improves nighttime sleep, but also boosts mood and focus in older adults. So if you wake up at 7 a.m., open the curtains immediately. Step outside with your coffee. Water the plants. Sit on the porch. Light in your eyes tells your brain that it's time to be alert. And in 14 to 16 hours, your brain will remember that, and start producing melatonin on schedule. Without that morning cue, your internal clock floats. And a floating clock makes sleep unpredictable. Now here's another trap to avoid. Don't chase perfect silence. A lot of people over 60 assume that sleep means silence. But if your room is too quiet, and your mind is loud, the silence actually amplifies your thoughts. That's why low, steady background sound can help. I'm not talking about noisy music or radio. I mean gentle, predictable sound, like a white noise machine, a fan, or nature sounds like ocean waves. Think of it like this. White noise is like a cozy blanket for your ears. It blocks out sharp noises, like a car door or a dog bark, and gives your brain something soft and steady to settle into. One woman I know keeps a little Bluetooth speaker near her bed and plays soft rainfall every night. She says it's like being rocked to sleep by sound. Now let's pause for a second and take stock. You've learned that sleep isn't something you do. It's something you allow. And in order to allow it, you need to send your body and brain the right signals, at the right time, with the right tone. You've learned to cut screen light before bed, use gentle breathing or journaling, include a tactile or spiritual element like tea or prayer, and repeat it all at a consistent hour. You've also seen that your morning light, your daily rhythm, even your sound environment at night, they all either support or sabotage your ritual. But there's one last element. And it's the one people don't talk about enough. That's forgiveness. Because the truth is, you won't get this perfect. Life happens. Your grandkids visit and you stay up late. You get a phone call at 8:55. You forget to write in your notebook. That's okay. Sleep isn't about perfection. It's about consistency over time. And if you miss a night, just start again the next. This isn't about controlling sleep. It's about inviting it. So tonight, when you start your ritual, do it not as a task, but as a kindness to yourself. A message to your body that says, you've done enough today. You're safe now. You can rest. And when you do this night after night, something shifts. You stop dreading bedtime. You stop fighting your thoughts. You stop reaching for pills. You trust your body again. And it begins to trust you. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing from this ritual that you're going to try tonight? Is it dimming the lights early? Skipping the evening news? Going outside first thing in the morning? Leave a comment and let me know. Your answer might help someone else take their first step too. If this helped you, consider subscribing to the channel. We are building a space here for people over 60 to take back their energy, their focus, and their peace, one simple ritual at a time. And if you want to go deeper, I've linked another video on how food timing can affect your sleep hormones. That's the next layer. But for now, close your laptop, turn off the lights, and begin your own gentle signal to the night. You've earned your rest.